Hello.
Hello.
Tim.
Hey, Zach?
Hey, what's going on, man? Is this Tim?
Yeah, man, it's Tim and Chris. What's going on, brother? How are you?
What's going on, guys? How you doing, man?
Doing good.
We just got done blasting Scream for Me, man.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Excellent.
Hell yeah, dude. I was envisioning the whole time, man, fucking the crowd in Lexington at the Tennessee Metal Devastation Music Fest. Fucking screaming, dude. Headbanging, fucking falling into the portal of hell.
It's going to open several times that night. Or that day, I should say, day and night.
So,
awesome.
So tell us, man, what's been going on in you guys' neck of the woods, man?
We've been, rehearsing a bunch, getting ready for the shows. We got a couple shows coming up. We got 4 shows lined up right now, but we're obviously looking for more shows to book. So, but currently, if I can talk about shows, so we got a show in Delaware at a place called Bar 13 on September 10th, and then we come down to Tennessee Metal Devastation on October 8th. And which we're really looking forward to that. The last time we played in Tennessee was when we were in our previous band back in the 90s, so we're obviously absolutely looking forward to coming back down to Tennessee and playing with the new project, and hoping everyone digs it. And then we got another show up in Allentown, PA on October 15th, and then in March 2023 we're playing in Las Vegas, an event called Apocalypse in the Desert. And there's some other things that we got in the works for next year, hopefully big things. We're looking forward to hopefully nailing those down, but I can't speak about them right now, but hopefully they happen. And then we might have, obviously it's, there's still many months left in the year, so we'll probably have other shows. Maybe we can get down to Virginia and up north a little bit, New York and Connecticut and stuff a little bit later this year and stuff. But yeah, that's what we're working on.
Man, that is awesome, dude. That is awesome. Sounds like you guys are busy.
Yeah. We definitely keep busy. And, working on some new music too. Like, I'm always working on new music, and let the guys hear it. So we'll probably start, working on some new music later in the year. See if we can get something rolling for something next year, a little bit later. Maybe if not. But yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Always staying busy.
Music writing machine, man.
Hell yeah. You were mentioning you haven't been down here to Tennessee since the last band that you were in the 90s.
Yeah.
That reminds me, like you guys have a pretty lengthy career, man. Can you give us kind of like a little rundown of how you started and how you got here?
Sure. So Chris and I were in a band called Abolish that started in the late 80s, went into the 90s. We were pretty successful with that. We were, at one point we opened up at Electric Factory in Philadelphia. We opened up for Iron Maiden. I think it was like 94, 95. I always get the date messed up. I don't have it off the top of my head. But we did some pretty big things with that, and it was pretty awesome. We came down to with Piranha, thanks, Chris, right? We came down south with Piranha, set us up shows down there. We set them up with shows up by us. We came down to Tennessee. I believe it was the Cannery. Is the Cannery in Tennessee, right? We played the Cannery in Tennessee, and then we played a show in Kentucky, and then I think a show in Alabama. They were awesome. It was super fun to do, but it's been a while. And then that project was called Abolish. I'm sorry, I should have said that earlier on. But this was pre the Abolish band that came out in Florida, if anyone recalls that. But there was another band that came out years later. We didn't dispute the fact that they had the name or anything, because we really weren't doing anything. And then we all, we never really broke up, but we kind of all went on like a hiatus. And then I pursued writing music for like TV shows and stuff like that, and libraries for TV shows. And as I was doing that, Chris is my best friend, the guy, bass player on the phone. I was showing him music I was writing, and then there was some stuff that I was like, man, this stuff's pretty good. And he's like, we ought to do something with it, which we did. So we got together. We started, for the first album, War and Dead. We basically got together and said, let's do something with us, just do a project. So we pulled in from another local band back in the 90s called Pummel. They were also doing pretty well, back in the 90s as well. Opened for a lot of the same bands that we did, Propane, Overkill and stuff like that, yeah. There were some decent bands we both opened up for at the time. And whereas I said, hey, Mike, you want to do some solos on some music we're working on, just it's going to be a project? And he said, yeah, absolutely. So as he started laying solos down, it really started coming together, and we let our old manager hear it, and he was just like, you guys got to do something with this. You can't just let it not be a band. So we went forward and made it into a band in 2016. The drummer is also from Pummel, so we're two local half bands, half Pummel and half Abolished from the 90s. And Cliff happened to just call Mike randomly, just ask him how he was doing. And Mike's like, oh, I'm jamming with Tim and Chris, and we're working on this project. And matter of fact, we're looking for a drummer. You want to hear some of it? You want to try out? And he said, yeah, absolutely. So he, we sent him stuff. We sent him 3 songs. He jammed them out on the video for us. It was funny. He was playing electronic drum kit to show us what he was doing, and he was wearing his daughter's pink headphones, shirtless. It was hilarious. He turns around, he's like smiling at us as he's doing it. He was totally kicking ass, and we were like, hey, that's our drummer. So by 2017 we were playing shows, and we've been steady playing shows since then. And we were on a great steamroll. 2017, 2018 we won the Northeast Walking Battle contest, and went to Florida. Went to California. Played the Viper Room, which was killer. We came in second. That's awesome, but it was great. Anyway, it actually helped us a lot, get a lot of recognition doing that contest, and actually doing what we did. It was very helpful to us. I have to definitely say that. And then 2019 came around. Pavement was interested in re-releasing the album, so we did that through Pavement. And then we continued to play out as much as we can. And we were on a pretty good roll, and then COVID hit and kind of derailed us like it did a bunch of other bands. And last year, fortunate for us, the beginning of 2021, we were able to get on Blue Ridge Rock Fest down in Virginia last year, and Full Terror Assault. So we played those back to back. They were within the same 4 days. When that was a really awesome experience. Both events were. So we're slowly coming back in 21, and then we were pressing hard on the new album, Fear Comes Knocking, and we released it this year, February 25th, and it's been doing pretty good. And we're just trying to play out as much as we can, and here we are. And we're excited to be playing the Tennessee Metal Devastation Fest. Which is awesome. We look forward to that. I'm sorry, I was rambling there, Zach. Man, I apologize.
Hey, man, I was listening, dude. I was listening, man. I remember last time we talked when you were on the show talking about the Viper Room and the Vakken battle and all that. That was badass, too. But, man, you mentioned sharing the stage with Propane and Overkill. That's fucking badass. But I got to go back. I heard you say you opened up for Iron Maiden. What the fuck was that like, man?
Yeah, dude. It was. It wasn't when when Bruce was with them. It was when they had the other singer. It was being sponsored through a radio station that the radio DJ was. I guess somehow had connections, and he was really into pushing us at the time. It was us, and I always forget the other band's name. Chris, you know the other band's name off the top of your head?
I sure do, because I'm looking at the flyer that still hangs on my wall to this day. It was Fear Factory.
Fear Factory.
Oh, man.
Right, so it was us, Fear Factory, and then Iron Maiden, and it was freaking epic. And you know what's terrible, dude? we were so excited and everything. Not one of us brought a fucking camera. I'm sorry, can I curse? Sorry about that. And none of us took pictures. We had friends take pictures off the stage. Up in this, up in the rafters and stuff, and all that balcony and all that and everything from where it was. But it was freaking amazing. Dave Murray and Steve Harris stood there and watched our entire set. And it's like being put on the spot, like you're jamming, you turn around and you're so, first off, the place was packed. We didn't think we were going to be playing to like a full crowd when we went on, but it was packed from front to back, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people, whatever was in there. It was packed. Yeah. And it was just, I always say, like, if I was on, if I was on any kind of heavy drugs, that I probably would have had a heart attack, because the adrenaline rush I got, man, it just went through me, man. I had to control myself. It was fucking crazy. I can only
imagine, like you said, with that massive crowd, but at the same time having some members of Iron Maiden standing there watching you too, like, holy shit. Yeah.
Dude, they were super cool. They were smiling, and they were just digging it, man. At that time, the music we were playing, Abolish was kind of like a crossover, like metal hardcore-ish type sounding band. I sung a bit, like a lot higher. My tone of voice was higher. It was more like John Connolly from Nuclear Assault at the time. So it was like, I guess, us opening, and then Fear Factory, they were heavy and aggressive, a bit more technical, and then you got Iron Maiden. So it was a pretty diverse lineup, and I think they were just checking out, like, hey, what's going on with what's this new music sounding like these days? But they were super cool. They stood there and watched the whole time, and we were able to watch them from back behind stage, which was killer. It was an awesome experience. One of the pinnacle things I think we did in our lives, me and Chris and I. What do you think, Chris? I'm sorry, I'm doing a lot of talking.
Tim does a lot of the talking, man. I'm up at 3 a.m, and I have to get up at 3 a.m. tomorrow, so I'm just like trying to fill in when I can and not step on anybody talking, man. But opening up for Maiden was amazing, and me being the bass player and Steve Harris standing there watching you, talking about being put on the spot. It's just like, oh boy, don't fuck up tonight, dude. If all night, So it was amazing, dude. It was so much fun. And like Tim said, the adrenaline, it was like almost like a blink of an eye. Like, cause you start to play a little bit faster, and you hear a lot of bands do that live, and so it just seemed like it went by so fast. And then, like Tim said, unfortunately, we got no photos of it or anything to say, hey, look what we did. It's just a memory. And like I said, I literally have like the flyer. It's like a 14 by 17 flyer that they posted, and I have one literally hanging on my wall right now that I'm staring at as we speak.
Does it have the year on it, Chris? What year was it? Was it 94 or 95?
It doesn't have the year.
It doesn't. I'm terrible. No. I'm not at my place, and I still have the backstage pass, which does have the year on it, hanging on the board, and so I can't read it. Sorry about that, Zach.
It just says February 17th. That's all I can say.
February 17th,
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you about the no photos thing too, though. Because back in those days, none of us had smartphones. So like we weren't just walking around with a camera ready. It's just it was one of those things. Like, unless you had somebody that was following you around, taking the pictures, or
Yeah, absolutely, you're right. It's true.
It's just stuck in our memories, man.
It was disposable phones, disposable cameras back then were the big thing.
Right.
No one grabbed a few of those disposable cameras.
Right.
Do you feel like it affected your performance that night? Like, did you guys I don't know, like, did you show out a little bit extra because you knew that you were being on the spot, or?
I think I don't think so. I think we were pretty well schooled at that point. We had been playing the scene for probably, with the unit that we were with for at least 3 years maybe, and we were really tight, and we had a decent following and drawing and stuff. People to this day will still compliment on the band. A guy actually posted, I think it was related to me posting about the festival, and he was talking about how it was us who got him into enjoying watching live music. when he was younger, seeing us playing Abolish, and he's like, I still have your stuff, and he goes, I love going to live events to this day because, you know, of seeing you at such a young age and seeing how powerful it was. And hearing people say things to you like that, it's like, you know, it's just awesome, right? You know, what better of a compliment can you get, like saying, hey, somebody watched you, you know, 20 plus years ago, and they're like, you know, saying that the reason they love watching live music to this day is because they saw you perform. It's just pretty epic. But I don't think, I'm sorry, I got off track there, but I don't think, I don't know if I would say overperformed. You do feel nervous, for sure. But I don't know. It's I guess in a way you don't want to mess up, but if you think about it too much, then you might just mess up. So, yeah. What do you think, Chris?
Well, that's just what I was going to say. I was watching TV, and they were talking about, like, the extreme sports people, and they're like, if you're not scared or have nerves, it's like you're not alive or you're not human, you know what I mean? And you just got to channel that energy to your performance and, you know, try to put the best thing on. Like I said, I think the only thing it kind of causes us to do sometimes, and I also said before, you play a little bit faster. You know, you got to kind of rein that in a little bit too, and you know, it's just the adrenaline of it. You know, you're human, and you just do it. And I think a lot of seasoned bands even do the same thing.
Yeah. That was one of the first events for us where when we walked off stage, people were waiting, you know, and we walked out because we wanted to hang out in the crowd. And when we walked out, people were standing there. And when they saw us, there was this one girl. She's like, "Oh my God, can you sign my skirt?" So we're signing her skirt right there. It was like weird. It was like, really? She's like, "Yeah." We're like, "Awesome, all right, cool," you know.
Hey, you know what memory you just triggered with me for that too, Tim, is you remember after we were done, we went back and loaded our equipment in this. We used to rehearse in a giant shipping container cart that this guy ran electricity in. So we took our equipment back there, loaded it up, closed it up, went to the restaurant, they called a dining car, and sat down and ate, and people came in and go, "Yo, did we just see you guys fucking open up for Iron Maiden?" Like, you remember that, dude? Like, I was like,
yeah.
It was like,
yeah,
cool.
A bunch of people came through. Like, oh my God, they're like, "You guys just opened for Iron Maiden, didn't you?" We're like, "Yeah, we did." Yeah. I had a big fucking pimple on the center of my forehead, and I had to wear, and I wore like a skull cap and shit to cover it up on stage. People were like, "What the fuck's up with this dude?" It's hot as balls in here. He's got a fucking hat on. Yeah, good old days. Good stuff.
Well, we are super stoked to see you guys down here in Tennessee at the festival, man. I'm sure you've seen all the fucking controversy and madness surrounding it, man. What's your take on all that?
It's interesting. I saw when you guys initially posted on it, and I was like, I just couldn't believe it. I was just like, really? I'm like, and the first thing I thought of, which is has been mentioned now, is the 80s, and that's the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, this isn't the 80s anymore. I'm like, wow. I'm like, I can't believe people still feel and think like that. But it only goes to show you that some people still continue to think a certain way, right? They don't. I don't know what you want to call it. They don't change, and they just stay in a certain way. It's to me, it's interesting, and at the same time, I was like, I started thinking, wow, this is actually could be good fuel for the event too. To be honest, I was just like, if people are going to talk about it, and obviously, also another thought was, I hope it doesn't affect the event. We're really excited about playing, and we don't, hope it didn't impact it in a negative way, which doesn't seem to be the case. I saw the other day that Loudwire mentioned it, which was awesome.
Yeah. And, they wrote up an article about, I guess Paramount Plus is actually putting on a show about the Satanic Panic, and it's based around some metal band or something. But in the article, they mentioned what we're going through and how it's still a relevant thing, and I thought that was pretty cool when I saw that. I mean, they put the link in there to go find out more information and everything. I was like, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's totally awesome. Yeah. How ironic is it, right, that they actually, now you mentioned, I do remember reading that part, that they're doing a show, and I was like, wow, how ironic is that this is all tying together at the same time. This happens to be going on at the same, the show that they're developing at the same time. I was like, it's kind of coincidental. I think it's meant to be, in a way. And Summoner Circle, we actually played with those guys. They were touring with Children of Bodom a couple years ago, and we opened up in Reading with them, and that was the first time we met those guys, Herb and all them, and they're really cool dudes. And then I'll say this on the air. My daughter actually not dates, but she's the girlfriend of the drummer, Brandon. So it's like an interesting combination. Like, I didn't even know that they were playing. I went over there to visit them, and Brandon's like, I see you're playing the Tennessee Metal Devastation. I was like, yeah. I was like, are you guys? He's like, yeah, we're headlining. I was like, oh, fucking awesome. I was like, killer. I was like, this is fucking killer. So it's awesome. It's a killer event. It's going to be great.
That's one of the things that I look most forward to, and one of the coolest things about it is like how many of the bands know each other, and we're all kind of intertwined in through different ways. It's just it's going to be like a I don't know, like a family reunion sort of, but
yeah. Dude, it's great to line up how diverse it is too. I'm totally looking forward to checking out the other bands and everything. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Awesome. We tried to keep it as close as possible to like what it's like here, what we do with the radio and what we do with our brand, because we're always trying to embrace all the different types of stuff. But I mean, obviously, couldn't fit every single genre in one day.
Right? Yeah. It's a little hard, but I mean, you did an awesome job with it. And I actually like that. I like watching events where it's diverse and you're seeing a mix. And things, you get to see a different flavor of everything. And I actually enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of the like the way that Europe does it. A lot of the European festivals are like that, and I think for a long time here in the States, you didn't see that much of that. But I'm seeing a lot more of it nowadays. But definitely for a long time there, it was usually over here it would be like one type of. Like a thrash or a death fest or something.
Right, yeah. Blue Ridge was like that last year. That was a real mixed event. That was pretty freaking epic too. I heard they're changing it up this year though. They're going to make like specific stages a certain way. Like there's going to be a metal stage and then a modern rock stage and then a different like kind of focusing. Whereas last year, like you could have been on a stage playing with a band that was more modern rock or a different flavor or metalcore or something, but metal. It was really awesome though. I'm sorry, I don't mean.
Oh yeah.
Get a cat bother me.
Well, I know there's definitely a lot of fans down here that are hungry for this kind of music, and they don't often get to see a lot of the more extreme stuff and underground stuff. And I mean, I'm always complaining that a lot of my favorite bands don't tour here in Tennessee,
Right.
And every time I see a band announce a tour, I go look at the dates and it's like, oh fuck, they're going to Atlanta, like they always. And I always wondered why, and I'm starting to kind of figure it out. I think is that maybe some of these venues are just where they just don't want to deal with too much of the backlash or what. I mean, I don't know. Maybe hopefully it's going to loosen up soon, and I'm hoping with this that we can at least get it to, open up the gates, man.
Right. I was just going to say that it's a good starting point for sure. Absolutely. And I hope you guys get to continue doing it. In all honesty, I mean, it's pretty awesome. And everything you got, the vendors and everything that you got showing up, it all seems like it's going to be like a really killer event. Super excited about it. People definitely need to come out to it and check it out, man.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Well, I'm about out of questions for you guys. Is there anything else you want to let the people know?
No, we're Eyes of Living, and if you like what we're doing, give us a like on Facebook and Instagram and all that jazz, and come check us out and make sure you're down at the Tennessee Metal Devastation Music Festival, and check us out there. We're going to throw down heavy, and and there's going to be a ton of other great bands there. So yeah, man, that's about it.
Fuck yeah.
It's a good time. We want to thank you for playing our stuff and supporting us and having us on for this interview. We really appreciate the support, man.
Always, man. I'm a fan first, dude.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Before I let you guys go, can I get you to make us a station tag?
Sure.
All right, whenever you're ready, say something like, "This is Eyes of the Living, and you're listening to Metal Devastation Radio."
We're going to say it at the same time, Tim, or are we going to do one?
You say Chris. You say this is Chris. I'll say this is Tim from Eyes of the Living, and then I'll say that. All right.
Okay. This is Chris from Eyes of the Living.
This is Tim, and you're listening to Metal Devastation Radio.
Hell yeah. All right, man. Well, guys, thanks a lot for taking the time to talk to us, and we cannot wait to see you October 8th.
Zach,
awesome, dude. Thanks, Zach, man.
Thank you so much, man.
Hell yeah, dude. We'll see you soon. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care, brother.
Later.
Bye.
Later.
There you have it, folks. Eyes of the Living live on the Zach Moonshine Show with Metal Devastation fucking radio. Like I told you earlier, put your speakers in your fucking windows, put them in your front lawns, put them in your neighbor's driveway. Do whatever you can. Make sure, if you don't see U-Haul trucks everywhere tomorrow, seriously, man, you need to invest in a bigger, louder stereo system or some bigger balls. And fucking reach out and grab the fucking volume knob right now, dude. Crank this fucking shit up. This is Eyes of the Living with Destroy Everything.